damn it.
Page 10 of the Dungeon Master's Guide outlines 20 Dawn War deities. It outlines gods and loose pantheons and all that fun jazz. I wanted to do this episode on gods, goddesses, deities, demigods, and so on because there has been something I've noticed on a few campaigns. One of which I sit in on as a player, and a few others as I am just a guest watching the campaign, which I am often prone to do. And that is, there's too many gods. And even then, there's the 3 rules that I often have as a Dungeon Master that I see other people don't have these rules. So what are my 3 rules? The first one is gods should always be in the background. They should never be interacting with the players directly. It should be through a middleman, if ever. But most of the time, they don't. They are a background thing. They're not a main crux of the campaign thing. Unless your campaign is about killing off all the gods, because there's too many, that is the only exception. Other than that, the gods should not have that much concern for the mortal plane, because they're gods. Another thing is that, like I said, they shouldn't be a main thing to... The second rule is that they shouldn't be a main thing to the campaign. They should not be like a main key or at the crux point of the campaign to where if the players don't obey the will of the god, then the rest of the campaign is screwed because, you don't have the god's blessing anymore, or the god got angry and killed all of you because it's a god. The third thing is that if you do have gods, they really should not be wandering the mortal plane. Ever. And if they do, nature itself, the world around them itself, distorts to their will, to their power, because they are beyond mortal comprehension. Those are the 3 things that I feel like everyone should know for gods. In the background, should not be key parts of the campaign, and if they do show up, everything's going to get weird. In my campaign, the god of hell, Eryx, is descended upon to the mortal plane once. And when he did so, he turned a small group of islands into known as the Islands of Blight. He wiped out the entire kingdom, the entire populace, and everything. There's nothing but undeath there. And he did that just by setting foot on there. The reason why, well, the king of that small little island nation was trying to summon demons from hell to essentially overthrow another kingdom, and Eryx doesn't like the idea of people pulling demons to the mortal plane because he's trying to keep things under control. Anyways, I've noticed in a lot of campaigns that there's too many gods. I've noticed that the players are running into the gods. Like turning a corner and boom, you've ran into the god of this. There doesn't need to be a god for every little thing. And even then, the players really should not be just running into them. Even more so, the god should not be the one giving quests. Or anything, really. Because in the player's mind, it's a god, I have to obey it. Because if I don't, it'll destroy my character. And it starts leaving a bad taste in the player's mouth. Because I have to do what the god says, because otherwise he'll destroy my character. But the god's the one that's making all of the demands, all the quests, all the choices. Well, I might as well not have given my character a background, because it doesn't matter. I might as well not have given my character desires, because it doesn't matter. What if my character wanted to be the greatest bard in all of the land? Well, that doesn't matter, because that's not what the god wants. Or the god promises a reward of, you're the greatest bard in all the land. Well, I don't really feel like I earned it. I feel like you just snapped your fingers and I'm the greatest bard in the land because you said I am. And that I didn't really earn being the greatest bard in all the land. It's frustrating. And I don't mean to put down any dungeon master. I don't mean to belittle the way that they run a campaign or how they write or anything. I don't mean it in a malicious way at all. It's just, it's frustrating to see gods being used as a very commonplace thing, and when they shouldn't be. They are gods. They are otherworldly. They are behind a veil of mysticism. And by having so many of them, having lots of them, and having them so common that you can run into them in the mortal plane so very often, it ruins that mysticism. It makes them seem just a little less believable. And the more and more that happens, the harder and harder it is for your players to really like the idea of doing anything for that god, or doing anything at all for any of the gods. Well, we were going to go to this one town and try and, start up a business thing that we had an idea for in order, make money. Just kind of like a side thing for our characters to do when they come back from an adventure. But instead, we're going to be going on this adventure because the god commanded that we do it, and we can't say no. So, guess we're not doing that fun downtime adventure thing that we were hoping for. Do you see my problem? You see my point? I know not all of them are like this, but there has been instances, more than I care to admit. So, what do? Well, firstly, in my opinion, you don't have so many gods. Secondly, you make sure that if you do have a lot of gods, that they don't really interact with the players that often. Thirdly, they're just not around. Like, you can pray to them, get boons, or maybe a warmth surging through your body. And holy crap, this is still really, really hot. I think I boiled the water too long because it is, like, seriously hot. Where was I? Yeah. My overall point, though, is that the gods should be that. Incomprehensible. They shouldn't be on the mortal plane commanding their followers to doing something. They send a middleman. They send an angel, a messenger, a vision. They don't walk the mortal plane. There is no need for them to do that. They have ascended. I don't know. I know this video sounds like I'm complaining, like I'm griping, and I'm sorry for that. I know a number of you don't come here for that. But with that being said, I'm trying to convey to you how important it is that if you do have gods in your campaign, that they aren't the crux of your campaign, that they aren't key things to it. Because you're going to have players who want to play a character that wants nothing to do with the gods. Why does your character want nothing to do with the gods? Because he doesn't see any use to having them around. The gods have done nothing for him, and as such, he gives them no praise. So why is he going to do what a god tells him to do? Screw you. You haven't done anything for me my entire life. Why should I do what you tell me to do? So, yeah. Anyways, that's what I just wanted to, talk to you about today. Changes coming to the channel. I'll be redoing a couple of bits of the art, mostly the banner. I hope you like the new intro that I put for this, and we'll be having a campaign up soon. So, fingers crossed. Catch you guys next time. Later.